Hello everyone, welcome and thanks for joining us for this month's PracticeHub Facebook Live event. My name is Anna-Maria Gibb and I'm the Senior Product Manager at PracticeHub. And part of my role involves collecting feedback from our customers and using it to improve the PracticeHub platform. Now, normally at these Facebook Live events, I discuss a couple of policies and procedures that are part of the suite of content that we provide to our customers. Now, today's presentation is a little bit different. Instead of focusing on policies and procedures, I'll be showing you the benefits of the Certificate of Insurance application that is in PracticeHub. Now, it's that time of the year coming up to June when many practitioners are about to renew their medical indemnity policies. So we thought it was a good time to tell you about this application and how it can save you time. So the Certificate of Insurance application and its, I think of as sibling, the ARPA Alerts application, are relatively new to the PracticeHub platform. So when we think about why did we decide to build this app in particular, well, firstly, we recognised that for organisations or practices, it can be time consuming to collect the information every year from every practitioner. Secondly, we wanted to, as far as possible, automate that process of collecting the information to make life a little easier for you. And thirdly, as PracticeHub is part of the Avant group, we thought we could see a way for PracticeHub customers to benefit from that connection as well. So I'm going to show you in our PracticeHub platform how it actually works. So it's very simple. So the first thing is that each practitioner needs to be in the PracticeHub platform. Now, they don't necessarily need to have a login and be a user in the platform. It's as simple as adding their title, first name, last name, a contact email, which I'll talk to you about in a moment as to how we use that, date of birth, and importantly, their ARPA registration. You can assign them a role, and that's basically all the information they need to just be a record in the system to track and upload their Certificate of Insurance information. Now, once your practitioner is set up in the PracticeHub platform, they will then appear in the Certificate of Insurance application. And so we've got a list here, and you can see our practitioners that are in the application. And you can also see some other information here as well. So the way this works is that you can send the practitioner a pre-configured email. So for example, I can send this off to the person who hasn't had a request sent. And the email, which I may well have here, looks like this. Let me just show you the email. I will come back and show you the email in a moment. But once they're in and they receive the email, there's a link in the email. So what they'll be able to do is add that information in there. So it's their medical indemnity, they can put in the amount, so they can put in the policy number, start date, and the expiry date. Just change, me getting a bit confused. Okay, let's clear that start again. Okay, category of practice, let's just say general practice and the insurer. Now, if they're insured with Avant, I will show you a slightly different process for them. So let's just put the insurer name as test. And then the practitioner can go into their documents and upload the policy document into the system. And they can submit that. Fantastic. So now from your perspective at the other end of this, you will see when that has been uploaded, you'll see this certificate not validated. So I don't know if you noticed, but when I uploaded the certificate just before, I put the expiry date as 2024 instead of 2023. And there it is there. So this one hasn't been validated. So let's just go in and do that. So this is the scenario when the practitioner has received the email, they have the link to the form, and they've submitted it. Now at this point, I could have a look and I can see, and I'd be thinking, oh, that's not right. So perhaps I can go in and just edit that quickly. It's this one here. And I can just change that and save and close. And now I have my certificate awaiting certification or validation, apologies. Now I'd like to close that alert and I will just basically say validated, and I will change this to provided. So you can see that process is really simple. So that's the first way in which you can add the information to the Certificate of Insurance application. And often I think we find that this information has been emailed to doctors by their insurer and is on their personal email address at home, that sort of thing. So if you use the email that you had when you set them up in the system, they're probably going to be able to do this really easily from home. Now, what I was going to show you is the way the email actually looks. So here we are. So it's really simple. If they are with the practice, there's the link, but this is the email. As an accredited practitioner, we require for our records a copy of your insurance annually, etc., etc. So that is basically the email that automatically goes out. Now, if that user is with Avant, they have a slightly different way of doing this, and that is that the email can still be sent to them, but our system has a look and says, does that person with that APRA number, are they insured with Avant? If the answer is yes, their consent email will basically be saying, would you like to consent to Avant sharing that information into this Practicehub site for you? Now, the beauty of that is it's automatically validated. You don't need to check it. And then year in, year out, as long as they're still with your practice and insured with Avant, that information will be automatically updated. So if you had already done that for this current financial year, for example, come 30th of June, the practitioner's renewed, you will automatically see that expiry date roll over with any new information in there as well. So I think that's really useful in terms of saving time, and also with all of these things, giving you a bit of peace of mind. Now, the third way in which you can set up or add someone's information is to do it yourself. So as the administrator in the PracticeHub site, you have the ability to add and edit the insurance, and simply clicking on the add button. And if you look at this screen, it looks very similar to the form that the doctors use to submit. So some very common themes around what they see and what you can see if you choose to add them yourself. Okie dokie. So a couple of other things to highlight in here for you. First of all, that you can have an overview. So I like this because it clearly tells me I've got 3 added users that I need to just go in and check that their content is, or their details are correct. I have a certificate awaiting validation, important to know as they come through that I go in and do them. And users that have been removed. So perhaps they're no longer with the practice and you just want to take them off that active list. You just need to confirm that they've done that. You can see here in the certificate status column that we have a kind of graphical interpretation of the information. And then down the bottom, we also have a sort of summarized overview according to role as well. So that information is quite helpful. Now, the next area we've talked about is that insurance list. Now, the beauty of this is you can filter. So like so many sections of PracticeHub, there's a filter which makes it really useful for you to be able to see what you're looking for. So perhaps I just want to focus on expired, and I can see the policies that have expired as well. So filters make life a lot easier, a lot less scrolling and looking through things as well. Now, the last one that I think is a huge value add to this application is this ability to create settings around when you want reminders sent to your practitioners. So this is terrific, particularly for the ones that are uploading themselves. So what you can say is, how many days prior to the expiry date do I want to send them a reminder that they need to upload their new certificate? So in this instance, we've set it to 15 days beforehand. If they haven't uploaded it, how many follow-up emails do we want to send? And again, in this instance, we've suggested 6 follow-up emails. Hopefully not that many are needed. And this one here talks about what interval do you want between those follow-up emails. And these are all configurable. So I might suggest that I only want to do 4, and maybe I want 5 days between them. If they're still expired and they haven't actioned them after that, it probably requires more of a face-to-face conversation. And the last one here is, when do you want to be alerted on your dashboard about those upcoming expired policies or policies about to expire? And this one here, we flagged 30 days. And so that means that in our PracticeHub dashboard, 30 days before the policy is due to expire, I'll get an alert, which is quite useful because I'll be able to track it. Have they gone, you know, I can remind them if I see them in the tea room, in the hallway. But otherwise, once they go past their due date, you'll start to see that they're expired. You'll get a little pink pill and tell you that they're expired. So really easy way for you to keep on top of this and to automate. So we talked about at the beginning the importance of being able to automate this process. Doing those settings allows you to automate those reminders to the practitioners as well. So the other thing, the settings, of course, are not relevant if your practitioner is insured with Avant and they have, apologies, I'm having a complete mental blank, and provided consent. If they have provided that consent, then these settings are not necessary because it's automated. It's going to feed through automatically. So that's essentially, this is a really simple application to save time and give you peace of mind. It works in a really simple way. A quick note about the APRA alerts application. As I said, I kind of think of it as the sibling. This one here, because you've added the person's APRA registration when you set them up in the system, it will also automatically feed through to this application. And what this one does is automatically checks on a daily basis with the APRA database to see if any of those practitioners, by their APRA number, if the status of their registration has changed in any way. So if, for example, somebody hadn't renewed in time, if there were stipulations put on someone's registration, you would see that within 24 hours of it appearing on the APRA site. So once again, automating that process, giving you peace of mind and saving you time. So should you require some additional information, if you go to our website and go to products, you'll find a page relating to the Certificate of Insurance. It gives you some information about the benefits, a lot of the things that I've talked about here today. So that's a good place to go and have a look. And as we wrap up, probably mention to you that next week on Tuesday, we have our monthly webinar. And this month it is using practice data to achieve excellence. And presenting will be the fantastic Chris Mead from Cubico and David Williams from Hoxton as well. So 2 very knowledgeable people. So I really encourage you, if you haven't already, to go to our website, go to resources, upcoming webinars, where you can register for this webinar as well. And finally, if you are not currently a PracticeHub customer and you would like to know more about it, the best way to do that is to request a demonstration. That's a one-on-one presentation with one of our consultants who can talk to you and your practice requirements. So it's a great way to find out more information. And now is a really good time because we have our end of financial year offer, where if you one of the first 100 practices to sign up before 30th of June, you get a $1,000 voucher from Team Medical to use for your practice as well. So that's it from me for today. Thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to seeing you next time.